Hello, I just wanted to show you just some little tips and tricks about creating thumbnails, a little advice on what to pay attention to. I have a guinea pig here, a guy by the name of Ian Craig. You should go check out his channel. He does audio and video reviews and tips. I've been following him. Has it been 6 months or 3 months or something like that? And I've been giving him some tips and tricks, just doling on a few simple ones on his channel. Been kind of picking on him. He seems to be game for it and welcome for it. Last thing I noticed, I'm subscribed to his channel, so I'm checking up on him. He's going to end up changing this one day. Beautiful guy, beautiful wife. Doesn't really reflect his channel, but that's okay. He'll get there. It used to just say Ian Craig, and I suggested he change his name to Ian Craig Audio and Video Reviews and Tips. The next thing he'll be looking at is how this thumbnail, kind of hate to make that picture go away, but how this thumbnail represents what he's trying to communicate here. He's building his channel up, and he's getting way better, week by week and video by video. So I got his latest Zoom H1 audio recorder in my feed. And by the way, a shout out to Ian. You should go subscribe to his channel. You're going to be watching his channel grow. He allowed me to pick on him a little bit in here for your benefit. And I hope some of these techniques and some of these things you see will help you. Now, of course, when you look at thumbnails like these are, I can't really tell what's going on, right? That's closer. Let's take a look at what his original thumbnail looked like. Well, let's first create a file, a new file. We're going to do 1920 by 1080. That's 16 by 9 for your videos. Some people use 720. Some people use even smaller because they're trying to save space. It's not that much space. So we're going to create 1920 by 1080. We're going to call it Ian Craig thumbnail. Let's create that, and there we go. Now I'm in Photoshop. I know some of you don't use Photoshop. I know some of you use some other program, or you use Paint, or you use whatever. You can figure out how to do what I'm going to show you in another Paint program. As long as you watch what's visually happening on the screen instead of all these things over here and tools, you'll be able to recreate this. Now I can spend anywhere, sometimes I land on a thumbnail maybe in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Sometimes I take a thumbnail out of my video if it's clean. Sometimes I take a photo and do something like that. I can also spend up to an hour. I think I can spend anywhere from an hour, sometimes even an hour and a half. Sometimes I've spent 2 hours playing around with trying to get what I think is the right thumbnail. Does that mean it's the right thumbnail? No. But it always ends up being better. The reason for that is because you probably know this and you're already ready to skip out of the video, and that's okay. You'll just miss out on some learning. When people get these in their feed, and when people are looking at, let's go to the home page here. People are getting these. A lot of these are good, and you start scrolling through. Get out of here, YouTube. A lot of these are really good because, I mean, look at these. This is my feed. Some of them, they aren't so good. This is mostly guys with a lot of views and stuff like that. Now, if you look at these, you're going to be captured by something interesting. For me, I'm going to see Rode NTG5, boom. I'm going to see Shotgun Review, boom, and I get it. Editing a crime series, I don't care. Sorry, Jordy, but I don't care. Good thumbnail. This is a good thumbnail. If I was interested in COPA or COPPA or whatever it is, I would go for it. Film Riot, that's okay too. I'm not sure I like the font. This really doesn't tell me anything, but I get that there's something weird going on, and then there's some other weird videos in here. Anyway, you can see the point. So if we go over to Ian's and we look at his thumbnails, when people are scrolling down those other thumbnails and they see this, or this even worse, or this, or that, they're not going to want to click on them. So then they're not going to get views. So we just want to look at a thumbnail. We just want to see, how would I take something like this and correct it? Now, Ian had a thumbnail I'm going to show you. Ian had it on this video, and before he sent me the file that he had before, because he changed it really, really fast. He knew it was a bad thumbnail and he's learning. But let's see what Ian has sent us. And again, you can do this in any video editor. I think Ian just took a photo off the video or from the camera or whatever, and it was like 630 by something. We don't care. I'm going to show you. I'm glad it's a little washed out. I'm glad it's a little pixelated because I had to make it big. It's like we're putting a 630 wide into a 1920 because this will help you with some of these trips and ticks. Ian's original thumbnail looked like that, which parrots what he was doing here. He started this Audio for Beginners series, and I think he does a lot of this stuff in Paint, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's take a look at this. You can't tell what's going on, first of all. I can sort of see him in there, and in here, when people are looking at their feed, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what the idea is. If you look over here, the other problem is he's talking about the Zoom H1. Then up here, I think, Audio for Beginners, Audio Recorder in Action, Episode 3. There's too many messages. When somebody's scrolling through, I mean, we want to tell people, hey, this is what this video is all about. You need like 1 or 2 or 3 words or something at the most in here, and then highlighting something that they can look at. So I'm going to take this thing, and I'm going to, even though it's pixelated and everything else, thank you, Ian, using this photo that Ian sent us, we are going to make a thumbnail out of this thing. The first thing I would probably do is let's just move this guy over here. We don't need to see his whole face. And I'm going to add just, I don't know, let's just add a rectangle over here somewhere like this. Okay, cool. And let's size this rectangle to fit like it should. Okay, we got a little black area. Let's put some text on here. Let's go Zoom H1N. Now obviously that text doesn't stand out, so we might want to change that color to white. Okay, that looks cool. And maybe we take this thing, add a little carriage return in there. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I've changed my mind. I'm going to play with these letters. So I'm going to do this zoom just as itself, and then I'm going to do H1N also by itself. So I can play with these and I can move these around. All right, I got zoom H1N like this. I'm going to create a little folder to encapsulate these things because I want to be able to flip between these. Again, don't freak out and go, oh, I can't do that in Paint. I got too many things. It's okay. You're not going to be doing all these. You're just going to be creating something like this. And you can do this in Paint. Already, you can see Audio for Beginners, H1, Portable, Recorder in Action, Episode 3. He's trying to put all his text in his thumbnail, which I get. But really, what's happening is they're going to see the thumbnail, and then, like, this is better. They're going to see the thumbnail, and then they're going to look at the title. Okay? Okay, good. So here we are. It's already looking a lot better, right? At least we can see it. So we decide we're going to do something like this. So let's spruce up our text. Maybe we decide to put this, maybe we decide to make this caps. Let's do that. Because that's going to catch, for his audience, Zoom is going to catch people's attention. Almost everybody knows what Zoom is. It's a portable audio recorder. And maybe we stick this down here. Stick one, here, over here. Maybe, let's put the N right there. We kind of have these guys just kind of sitting right there. That looks okay. We're far from done yet. I want to add something else to this element here. I know what we can do. Let's go in and let's go grab a yellow. Just because yellow stands out, that's all. Brady yellow, like that. And let's just draw another box. We're going to pull that box down behind the Zoom H1N. We're going to have to go with the black text now. Boom. And on the Zoom, same thing. I think we can just do it this way, can't we? Yeah. Okay. Now we got Zoom in there. Let's play with this box. I like keeping things tidy. Let's play with this box. Maybe we'll put the box there. And then we come over here and we say zoom H1N. Okay, let's check it out. Again, much better at this point. I would, especially in this type of thing, blah, 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 I don't know. If I was looking and I was scrolling through and I saw that, I'd be like, zoom H1, what's this guy doing? And I would then read the title and then I would click on it. So here we are, like that. So let's play with this thing. I think we can do better. Let's add a stroke to this. Again, you could just draw this in paint. Oh, that's convenient. I already have yellow. Let's pull the size down, maybe like that. We don't want to go too crazy with this thing. And now it looks like, you know, it comes down like that. Now he's trying to put episode 3 and he's like got audio for beginners 1, 2, and 3. Maybe we do something like this. Let's check this out. Episode, we'll make that text, and then we're going to do another one. So they're separated. 3. Maybe we do this. Stick that over there. Maybe we just really add some whatever, right? Maybe we stick that up there. Now, episode 3. Yeah, maybe. Now, Ian may be going, you know, hey, that's great. Now everybody knows it's episode 3. You know what? No one cares if it's episode 3. No one's going to be going through their feed and going, oh, well, I've seen 2 and 1. They're not going to care. I actually think that really detracts. Again, that's too many words. Let's just take that out. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You could play with it if you want to. You could say, well, you know, I could make it really small. And then, you know, my peeps will know, you know, what's going on here. And then we could just move it down here. And then, you know, and then people will know it's episode 3. Well, remember, they're going to be looking at it like this. They're going to go, what is this? Or if you put episode 3, I say they go away. Now, we could certainly do things like maybe the yellow's too much for you. So we go over and maybe we grab some blue out of the shirt. Like that. I frankly don't like that. Maybe we go to the other one and we grab some blue out of the shirt. Oh, that's okay. Let's grab this color value here and let's set this stroke also to that color value and see what we got. Nope. See, if you look at it like this, it's like, yeah, that's okay. I mean, if you want with that, that'd be fine. Let's undo that. And look at that. Boom! It just slaps you in the face. And again, stop putting all these words on here. I'm not talking to Ian in particular. Just people, stop trying to put all these words on here. No one can read it. You're covering up the point. What is the point? The whole video, I've watched this video. The whole video is he goes through the zoom H1. Excuse me, the zoom H1N. That's the whole video. How to use it, everything else. All they need to know is it's about zoom H1. So let's leave it there. So let's say we decide to do something like that. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Let's check it out again. I think you'll agree, especially if you were scrolling by that's better, right? Now we can do some touch-ups, and I'm going to get into a little bit of Photoshoppy stuff. And again, you could probably do this in whatever your paint editor is or something else. In Photoshop, you could probably do this within your own paint editor or something, but I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use Photoshop. If you go into Photoshop, here's that photo back there. Let's turn that off. There's that photo back there. And in Photoshop, you can do stuff like select subject. And it goes through and it does a really decent job of, look at that. It found him. It found his fingers. Part of the zoom H1 came around here, came around here. I kind of missed this little space in here. So let's go in and just subtract some of that out. Subtract some of that out. Maybe that little piece there. And now we've selected all of him and what we do and don't want. I notice up here it's missed a little thing, so I'm gonna make sure I select over there and make that what I'm doing is I should have made that, whoa, not that big. I should have made that bigger. I'm just plussing that into there. Maybe I get a little more of the hair in. It's okay because it's not gonna matter. Now, at least in Photoshop, what you can do is you have a selection. So all this is selected in here. that's what we want to play with, and we don't want to play with any of this stuff, and it's on this Ian Craig photo. It's this guy right here. See how that's all selected? So when I hit Control J, you'll notice it just made a duplicate over here, but what it made a duplicate of is what I selected. So you could definitely go with the white background. I think it's a little too jaggy. I think it looks a little too weird and unnatural. So I wouldn't do that. You'll notice when I turn this on and off, you can't see anything. So let's separate. Let's go back to this background, right, which is this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it black and white. Let's just do that. Okay, now it's black and white. And you're like, well, that doesn't look good. Well, that's why I separated them first. Look at this. Boom. So now we've muted. Let's turn these off. Now what we've done is we've muted this background, the cupboard and everything, and we've kind of thrown it right into the back. Just like that, just by muting it. I might even go here and maybe blur it a little bit. Let's see what a blur does. We'll add, let's add a little Gaussian blur. Yeah, that's not good. 2, maybe 2. Okay, all right. So let's take a look again. Here's the old one, and here's the new one. Now, what I want to do is I can play with this layer. Remember I have them separated, so I can play games with this image. For instance, I think it'd be cool to go into this image and maybe let's grab this little dot here on this image and let's do some silly stuff like go vibrance the heck out of that, right? Make that kind of blue. Right, you see what I just did there? Look at that. Pink, pink. And then maybe we go in here and maybe we play with this guy too. Let's blue up this guy too. Or excuse me, red up this guy too. Remember, this background isn't part of this image, it's just right there. So let's go vibrance this guy a bit. See what we get. Just a little bit. Just turn that red up. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what we've done is we've gone through and subtle, huh? But we just boom, because this is the point. This guy is the point here, the zoom. Now Ian's a bit overwhelming the zoom. That's okay. Let's play. Hey, I just had a cool idea. You know, we've separated him, so let's take, here, I'll do it this way so you can see what's going on. Let's take this zoom part and let's move it over here. Maybe we move it up here a bit. Maybe a little more. Like that. And we take and we put the zoom right here, like that. And we take the H1N and we kind of stick them right there for right now. Now you're like, what the hell are you doing? You're like covering everything up. Well, yeah, I am. But watch what happened. Because remember, we have Ian over here isolated. Remember? That's him. Now watch what happens. When we drag Ian up past all that, boom. Look at that. We just added some really cool depth and stuff to this by just dragging that isolated Ian up there. Now we have zoom H1 over here. We could probably do this now. We got some more room. Let's make this a little bigger. Maybe like that. And then it's the H1N. Most people will see zoom who's into with stuff like he's doing, and they'll be like, oh, absolutely. Where would we put that? Let's put that. Well, let's put it right there. Okay, let's see how we're doing. This is what we used to have. And this is what we got now. And you see how that's like, you're scrolling through and you see that and you're like, hey, what's that? I'm going to move these up. I'm going to move them up a little bit. There we go. Whereas they see that, they can't even read it, and there's too much text and stuff. Look at that. Zoom H1. So if I'm scrolling through, or I see this sitting here, or I'm scrolling through my YouTube feed, I see this, I immediately know it's about the Zoom H1, and then I'm going to go through and glance at the text and see if I'm interested in it. So that's a lot better right there. Now we can do other little tricks with this. For instance, especially, again, since we have Ian isolated, him right there, he's isolated. So we can do some interesting things with him. I'd go through I would, let's sharpen this guy up. I usually use an unsharp mask, 120, and radius of 1.2 pixels. Let's see what just happened. You see a difference? Blurry. Let's see if we can move this up. That's without the sharpening. That's with. Without, with. It's kind of subtle. Without, watch in here. With. See how the zoom H1 pops? And then watch his face. Without, with. Now the next thing that's really cool is I might play with his eyes a little bit. I spend some time on these. I'm not trying to like, okay, we're going to take out his wrinkles. I want it to be real for people, and I want them to see stuff. But you can do some cool things. Let's go find Ian here. In fact, we're going to rename this guy Ian Isolated. I can also go into Ian, and I can decide that let's grab a white here. Again, we're going to grab our brush, and again, it's on 5%. And maybe we go in, and we decide that's white. See that? It might be too much. Let's knock it down to maybe 3%. And we're just going to brighten up his day. We're just going to brighten this up a little bit. We're just going to run that a little bit, run that a little bit, come over here, maybe run that a little bit, come in here, run a little white on that, just a little bit. Very, very, very subtle. So now we got Ian. Look at all these things we did to this thing. I do spend some time like this. Let's see what we have here. Remember, that was the old one. Here's the new one. Look at that. You know, I might even, doesn't that look cool? I would probably leave it there. I might blur the background a little bit, or I might tone down the background a little bit, or I might lighten it up. Let's go with this background again. I think it's this one that we blacked and whited. Let's see if we can blow it out a little bit and get some of those cabinets out of there. Let's go with exposure. Maybe we can blow that out a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Or then we blow it down. Because of the cabinet over here, I'd probably just blow it up just a little bit and see how that pulls him out. Check that out. So there's the old one that somebody's going to zoom by, and there's the other one that's going to stop someone, and they're going to click on it. Let's look at it again. Boom, boom. Pretty cool, huh? There's all sorts of things you can do in here. Like I said, I think we're at a half an hour right now. Mostly it's taking me this time because I'm explaining it while I go along and what I'm thinking about and how I would do something like this. But that's why it seems like it's taking a long time. I've spent an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, just trying to get a thumbnail to look good. Now, you can also get into a situation where you go, okay, I'm just going to put my title here, use this black and this line. I'm just going to drop in my thumbnail every time. You can do that, but what happens is then you go over to your channel and all you have is this black thing, this line, this, your face, and whatever product you're doing. And then it kind of like just repeats and repeats and repeats. Nothing wrong with that when they get to their channel because they'll know it's all from you. You can do that if you want. I kind of like to play with these. So here's the deal. If I took the zoom H1 and that was sitting right here, no, I can't do it. We can rig something up here. Oh yeah, we can. Let's go in here and let's grab, kind of like screenshot this guy like this, right? And then we're going to go over here. We're going to grab this web page and we're going to open this. And there's our web page. So let's go grab, just for grins, I want to do this quick. Sure. So what? We're just going to screenshot it. I'm just trying to make a point here and showing you something. Let's just grab this thing like this. We screenshot it. Boom. We're going to copy it to the clipboard and go over here. And we're going to paste it in. And then we're just going to play with this. We're going to make it pretend like that's what Ian did. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So now you'll see the difference. I can clearly see this is about the zoom H1. There's no doubt in my mind that's about the Zoom H1. I can see the zoom. I can see his face. I've demirrored the back. I see he's excited about the Zoom H1. These not so much. And again, Ian, really, I mean, kudos to him for letting me pick on him. But he's learning and we're all learning, right? So that's some of the things you can do with your thumbnails to play around with them. Again, take some time. Take 15 minutes or a half an hour or whatever. Go shoot the product with a camera. Go play with it. It's not unheard of for people to spend an hour or 2 hours on their thumbnails. Because what you want is you want people coming over. Well, this is not where they would end up, but you want people rolling through this feed and you want to see that's okay, but would you rather click on that or that? Because those little icons, when people are scrolling through their feed, may look like that. And that's just going to go right by. That's way better than what he's doing, but look at that. Anyways, take some time in your thumbnails. Take some time to design them. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send this to Ian right now. I'm going to save it. It's 1920 by 1080. New thumbnail. Save that out to my email. I'm going to send him an email. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know I'm going to do this. Let's see. Here's mail. I'm going to create a new message. I'm going to send it to Ian Craig. And I'm going to say, your new thumbnail. I used it for a tutorial. Smiley face. You'd it. Let's go grab Ian's thumbnail. It's right there. Let's open that sucker. And let's send that to him and see what he thinks. Now again, it's a bit raster, pixelated or whatever. And it's okay. It's not going to be this big. Ba-boom. So cool. So I sent that, and we'll see if Ian just goes, what? Or if he wants to kill me. Anyway, that was my message. I just wanted to talk to you about thumbnails for a while. I'm going to be gone over Thanksgiving, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I wanted to make sure, as promised, I got a video up on the Unscripted channel. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you learned something from it. I really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate your support. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you want more tutorials like this, let me know. I'll do them because I like doing stuff like this. All right, I hope that helps, and we'll see you later.